Who's got the rocket launcher? I say we blow it up. Now fire that thing.
It's for the city of sports, playing with a giant Nick. With my man S. God.
That's him.
You feel the vibe?
That's me.
We going live.
That's us.
That like button shared, you been subscribed.
Stadium.
That MetLife, Big Blue, home of the Braves.
Yeah.
That turnpike, you can see that's where the game's played. NFL one day, then it's the NBA. Madison Square Garden, that's where the Knicks play. This that NY Logan, no it don't get broken. Legalize mean this shit smoking. I'm on topic, dropping another episode. The game winner, trade, maybe a field goal. Everybody right now doing the wave. You tune in, the show called The-Man-Cave. I see the chat, they always doing their thing. Big views, 85 extreme. The game's on, you rush and bleed, made calm. You on the road and chill, do the watch along. The show's on, the host, you know it's S-God. It's no telling the panel filled with guest stars. You're now rocking with the voice, you know who it is. It's your boy J Boogie. You're now rocking with my man S-God. I support him to the fullest, you heard? My man Mike Blaze. This is Alter Production. What that mean? We about to alter everything that's playing. Tune in. My man S.God. Support the show. Subscribe, share it. Most importantly, hit that like button.
Salute to the orange and blue skies, man. You already know what the vibes is, man. Tonight, man, is Knicks basketball, Knicks talk, Knicks at night tonight, man. Every Monday is going to be back every Monday at 7:30 p.m., man, talking Knicks basketball, man. Talking about the end of the season, man. Talking about what's going to happen in, free agency, draft, and all that stuff, what the Knicks got to do in order to get themselves right back to where they just left from, you know what I'm saying? But, hey, man. I know the season didn't go the way everybody expected to. Knicks fans a little disappointed. Thought we was going to go further than, the Eastern Conference Finals, but it wasn't to be, man. Hey, the better team won. The Pacers won in a 6-game series, man, beating the Knicks 4-2 in the series, man, to advance to go play the Oklahoma City Thunders for the championship starting Thursday night in the NBA playoffs, man. But, hey, man. I want to thank everybody for tapping in, man, to the Man-Cave podcast, as well as the Aboriginal Sports Network, man. The link is right there in the chat, man. Our one centralized location for all of our content. Make sure you go subscribe to all the great content creators, myself, the Man-Cave podcast, as well as Big Pass Sports Talk, Unpopular Opinion Sports or NYG, Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports, also Leaf Diggy, Mets 2128, also TP Way the Giant, Deception, as well as Delay of Game. Also Rob R0B, man, and my man Ghost Dog. Make sure you go and tap into them guys, man, all day, man. It's like, hey, we're back here again. But as Knicks fans, like I said, man, hey, we take our lumps and we just keep on ticking. You know what I'm saying? The season didn't go the way that we wanted it to go. But, hey, it is what it is, man. We are here now at this point, man. But like I said, man, it was a great season for the Knicks. Actually, a great series for the Knicks too, man, as well, man. So, hey, we're going to dive into it, man. But like I said, this show today, we're going to talk about like what went wrong in the playoffs in this series against the Pacers, man, and stuff like that. But before we do any of that, man, make sure if this is your first time to my channel, man, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. Also share it on all social media platforms to the Man-Cave podcast. It costs you nothing, man. It is totally free, man. Just like I said, just subscribe, man. Like I said, so I can keep bringing you great content like this, talking Knicks, man, and also Knicks stream all season long, man. But before we dive into what went wrong with the Knicks, let's look at some highlights from Game 6, man, to figure out what the hell went wrong with the Knicks, man, in this series and stuff like that. And also, it was a microcosm of exactly what happened during the season for the Knicks as well as in the playoffs, man. So you'll get to feel what it was like, man. So I'm going to put up some highlights, man. We can just look at it and stuff, and you can just see all the miscues and stuff like that and just take it from there, man, So I'll put it up. And then we'll roll it, man. Yeah, that's the beginning of the game. It's like Brunson, the first play of the game, Brunson, down the lane, nice, lays it up. But then here comes the Pacers back, Siakam. And then here's the thing with Brunson and Towns, the defense. Look at that. Look at that defense. That's part of the problem right there. They're not picking up, man, and sticking to the guy. Here's the next play with Brunson. Brunson in the lane, throws it up, lays it up and in. Also here's the inbounds pass. How was that? You see, those are turnovers, unforced turnovers. This is part of the problem. These turnovers was killing the Knicks in this series. All right, the next play with with Bridges and and that's another thing. That's another thing was missing from the offense. Mitchell Robinson with the lob passes. Those are easy money buckets that the Knicks be missing out on because nobody's passing Mitchell Robinson the ball since he's been back like that. All right, this next play, Brunson in the lane, throws in the corner. Bridges finally hits a three. Now it's early in the game, but he's been missing a lot of 3-point shots in this series. Here's an out of bounds play. Again, another missed defensive assignment. Can't be missing those defensive assignments. Here's another play. Neesmith, wide open. Where's Towns or Brunson? See? They get caught up again between those two. And here's another play in there. Neesmith, wide open. Kick out. And there's the shot. Like I said, defensive miscues again. Other play, Bridges to Towns. Daddy could do that, but he misses the three. Out to Robinson. Back to Brunson to Cat. Here goes another one. Around the screen with Cat. In the lane, Bridges with the ball, and you got to play. You got to play much stronger with the ball, Mikhail. You got to play much stronger with the ball, man. Those were part of the turnovers. And look at the Pacers out in a break and run, but good defense by Bridges to come back to play some defense and block that shot. All right, Knicks with the ball. Brunson guarded by Turner. 3-point shot from the elbow. You know what I'm saying? When it was hitting, it was hitting. Here's another play. Landry Shamet throws down to Mitchell Robinson. There you go. That's what I'm saying. All Mitch got to do is roll to the basket, man. Those are points that you know what I'm saying, that we were missing early on. We got to get those. Another one, defensive lapses again. Obi Toppin looking like he want to be a Nick killer now since he went over to Indiana. All right, Knicks with the ball. Deuce in the corner to Shamet. We need more of those. You know what I'm saying? Bench scoring. All right, over in the corner. Shamet again, down to OG. Great pass, man. All right, here goes another one. Here goes with Towns. Look, with Towns, where are you going? Where are you going? Wide open, man. Where are you going, man? Defensive lapses. Brunson with the ball. Those to OG and Anobi. OG in the lane. Step back, jump shot up and good. And here goes another one. Brunson with the ball looking. Finds OG and there's a turnover. And that's been the main culprit in the Knicks playoff series losses, these turnovers. Too many turnovers, man. Too many turnovers. Look at Brunson in the lane. Turn the ball over again to Cat. Another turnover. That was a sloppy play. Look at the Pacers getting out in the break and running. Can't have that. Here's another play. Again, wide open again. Miles Turner, wide open. Like 2 or 3 guys run off to Halliburton. For what reason? What reason? And then this one, OG, right before the buzzer from halftime. But after halftime, that was it. That's when the Knicks, like I said, Pacers came out and just opened up the floodgates. It's the third quarter. Everything they were shooting was going in, but like I said, they was moving that ball. Knicks with the ball again. OG, get a shot blocked. Pacers out and running. This is it. They out and running again. See? Here come the Knicks with the ball. Mikhail with the ball around some screens. Those are alley to Robinson. That play was there basically all game. It was there. Knicks could have found that play a whole lot more. Here goes Brunson with the ball. With Nembhard on him. 3-point shot is good. And then the Pacers just started going to work after that. Knicks again. And Brunson turnover again. Bad pass. Halliburton with the deflection. Nembhard wide open. Man, watch this way. Towns. And watch Thomas Bryant. Look at Thomas Bryant. Look how Thomas Bryant is hustling. Gets in the corner. Gets in his corner and wide open. And what happens? Nails the 3-point shot. He got to his spot. Moving that ball. Yeah, here goes Brunson in the lane. Brunson throws the Cat, which is a good pass. That was a good pass. And Knicks are right back in there. But then, like I said, after that, it's almost like the wheels almost flew off again. Bridges in the lane again. That's an unforced turnover. Here goes the Pacers out and running again. See what I'm saying? I got to handle. You got to protect that ball. Can't be turning that ball over. All right, here comes the Pacers. Siakam turnaround jump shot. Ben Shepherd, no good. Here comes Hart with the ball. Down the lane, and he gets fouled. Like I said, that's the only thing with Hart. When he takes it down lane and when he takes it on a fast break, it's good things happen. But it's just when you just don't want to shoot the 3-point shot. Obi Toppin, wide open 3-point shot. Nails it. And then this play, Hart to Towns. Towns is not a lob threat, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to know your personnel. That was a bad play. And then look at that on this end. They don't stop the man. Easy 2. Pacers 4-on-5 right now. You know what I'm saying? Knicks will foul just to call the time. But look at the Knicks get a steal, which is good. You know, but like I said, just too many. Like I said, the Pacers in the paint. Like I said, good defense by the Knicks on this play right here. That was an and one, which is a good play by OG Anunoby. And then here he goes, Brunson down 14 with Cat. Cat down the lane, lays it up and in. But here comes the Pacers right back. They've been doing this the whole thing. They coming right back. You know what I'm saying? Got their foot on the gas. And Halliburton, these floaters, like I think he had like 4 or 5 floaters like in a row, and they just kept killing. He kept killing us with these floaters in the lane right over Cat. Just kept killing us with them floaters. So at this point, the Knicks was just trading baskets for baskets. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make some defensive stops. The Knicks could not get no stops. Could not get no stops. And Halliburton was just killing. Like I said, she kept getting in the lane, lays it up and in. And here you go, Towns with a 3-point shot, no good. Rebounded by Hart. You know what I'm saying? Out to OG. A lot of misses. And Cat with the putback, but a lot of missed shots, a lot of missed opportunities in the series too. A lot of guys with wide open shots. Nembhard, wide open. There you go. They're making their shots. You know what I'm saying? They were making their shots. Looks at the ball, and you see the lead, and you see this Brunson over to OG. But it was too little, too late, man. At the end, too much Halliburton. Like I said, over to Obi Toppin, who seals it with the dunk. And then Halliburton with the ball. Look at this. Look at that. Where's the defense at? Poor defensive transition. Poor defense. Never stopped the man with the ball. And then here's Halliburton right now, the dagger from downtown Indianapolis. And that, what I said, bro, that was what it was, man. That was like the main thing in there, man. Yeah, what's good, bro? Thanks for tapping. Salute to the chat, man. Man, Darnell, Big Money, what's good, bro? Tyrone Hall, what's good? What's good? Salute, fellas. Rumors have Tibbs on the outs. Salute, we need depth. And yeah, I'm hearing that with Tibbs, man. So we'll see what happened, man. So what's good, bro, man? Season over, tough sledding. I already know. G Money said, I will swap Cat for Greek Freak. I would not kind of swapping Bridges for AR-15 from the Lakers. Nah, I ain't doing no AR-15, bro. No AR-15. Smash the lights. Pacers speeded and the hiccup. Yep, Knicks need on-ball defenders. Did you call the game out? No, I didn't call that game. I was actually at the sports bar, man, watching the Knicks go down. Watching the Knicks go down, man. Tough way to see the season if you guys should have never given away game 1. And that's the whole thing, man. Like I said, and that's part of the what you call it, man. That's part of like, so leading up to like what's going on is like the turnovers, man. In this series, man, like I said, we had 93 turnovers in this series, leading to 140 points by the Pacers to 61 for the Knicks. So the Pacers turned our mistakes into points. Look at that. That's like an 80-point difference. They had 80 extra points from off of our turnovers. 93. We had 93 turnovers. And you know who the main culprits of the turnovers were? Our backcourt, the perimeter guys. Brunson had like 24, like 25 or 26 turnovers by himself. Bridges and Towns had another like 15, you know what I'm saying, a piece or something like that. Hart had another like 10 or 12. We had too many guys who just turning the ball over. And like I said, some of the turnovers were just unforced. That's the problem. Unforced turnovers, man. You don't want unforced turnovers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, if you're going to turn the ball over, turn me over. You know what I'm saying? Not, you know, me just giving the ball to you or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Turn the ball over. It's like this. We can't be turning the ball over and expect to win, man. Can't expect to win that way. Cannot expect to win. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that was one of the problems. That was one of the things that went down was the turnovers. Too many turnovers, man. 93 turnovers in a 6-game series. That's about 16 a game. Close to 16 a game is like, that's not going to win you series. You can't have 16 turnovers every game. You cannot have 16 turnovers, especially if like about 12 of or like 10 of them is unforced. That's what I'm saying. You're just causing your own turnovers with not, you know, handling the ball properly. And I know, like I said, with Brunson, I know they put a lot of bodies on him, try to wear him down and stuff like that. But some of it is just too much dribbling. Too much dribbling. You can't try to dribble everything your way out of a lot of things. Pass the ball. Nobody moves quicker than the ball. The ball moves faster than anybody. If you keep whipping that ball around, people are moving. It's gonna cut down on the turnovers. But if you're trying to dribble the ball between 2 and 3 players and stuff like that, while you worn down or you tired, you're going to turn the ball over. You're going to turn the ball over. Even if you double team, find somebody quick. You see the double team coming, quick, pass it out to somebody else. But sometimes he holds the ball too long with a double team and then he gets trapped or something like that. And it's like too late. It's like you see the double team come over, you know what I'm saying? First thing you got to do is analyze to see where it's coming from and then just go quick to that man. Somebody's got to be open. Somebody has got to be open. If you're being double or triple team, somebody's got to be open. And some of these players, like I said, they got to make themselves available. That was part of the problem. A lot of these guys was not making themselves available after Brunson, even sometimes when he passed the ball, or they wasn't even trying to attack the basket. When you break a press and things like that or pressure, you got to attack the basket and put pressure on the other team. And if you just going to get the ball and just, flare back out and all that stuff, you're not putting pressure on the other team. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to take advantage of your opportunities because it's like you have a mismatch and you have the numbers to your advantage. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? But these are some of the things that caused the Knicks to lose this series. Knicks came into the series actually as the favorites in this series against the Pacers. After the Boston clinching series and like everybody was like, oh yeah. Knicks is like, yo, we got the Pacers. Like, yo, we want revenge on the Pacers from last year. Which, like I said, I was into it too. It's like, yo, we got to get revenge on the Pacers and stuff like that. And hey, that very first game, like RC just said, man, that very first game, yeah, that was a game we should not have given that game away. You got to win that game. You're up by 14 points with 3 minutes left to go in the quarter. Bro, you got to win the game. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're up 14 points. What you do? You started missing free throws. Then you decided you didn't want to play defense on pick and rolls. And they came down and they got a pick and roll on every possession and got 3-point shots over because the Knicks failed to get over the pick and rolls. They did not want to get over the pick and rolls. They want to stay back and have 2 guys guarding 1 player. For what reason? You got to fight over those screens because guess what? They was making 3-point shots. You got to stop their momentum. You have got to stop their momentum. You can't just let them keep shooting threes because either you're tired, you don't want to go out there, but at the end of the day, that's your man. Somebody has to pick up that man. Every man is accounted for. So if you're just sitting there, you don't want to play defense, that's what happens. And what happened? That was the biggest choke jobs, you know what I'm saying? A 14-point lead, whatever, you know what I'm saying, within less than 3 minutes left to go in the game, and you lose a game and go into overtime and lose the game because towards the end, guys started, splitting the free throws, making one, miss one, making one, miss one, making one. You got to make both free throws, bro. You got to make your free throws. That's part of the game. That's the pressure situation. That's what happens. Pressure busts pipes. You got to see if you're a pressure player. You got to, you know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. How you going to make your free throws at the end of a game? You got to make these free throws. If you want to win games and hold off teams, you got to win games. You got to win these games. And free throws is a big part of it. You got to make those free throws. You can't like split the pairs and stuff like that. And these are from good free throw shooters. This ain't from like Mitchell Robinson. These are great free throw shooters. Towns, Anunoby, you know what I'm saying? Hart, you know what I'm saying? And even Brunson, some parts in the game too, is like, yo, these guys miss free throws. And in that game 1, we missed 12 free throws. We were 28 of 40. We made 12 free throws in that first game. That's another reason why we lost that first game, because of all those missed free throws and those damn turnovers. And we refused to play defense in the last 3 minutes of the game at the fourth quarter because guys didn't want to get out. The guys didn't want to fight over screens and didn't want to get out there and do some things, and all that stuff. Is like, bro, it's 3 minutes left to go in the game. All you got to do is just, for the home stretch, just go all out so you could win that game. It doesn't make any sense to be leading the whole damn game and then lose in overtime or lose the lead at the end of regulation in the fourth quarter because you don't want to play defense at the end of a game. You don't want to play defense. I mean, and they coming down and doing the same damn thing every damn time. They was coming down on pick and roll defense to get wide open 3-point shots. And what the Knicks was doing, they were sitting back on the defense because they did not want to do it. They don't want to get out there and play defense. You know what I'm saying? And me, like I said, I don't know if the Knicks had timeouts or not, you know what I'm saying? But this is where Tom Thibodeau as a coach, you need to call a timeout and rip into those guys when they come off the court and stuff like that, into that huddle, and let them know this is a damn game. We got to win this game. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you don't want to play, we'll put somebody else who wants to play. And you know what I'm saying? And if some of those guys was tired, take some of those guys out, put somebody else in. But part of the problem is because you let them play the whole fourth quarter, you didn't take them out. You should have took some of the starters out early in the fourth quarter and then bring them back in. But sometimes with Tibbs, he'll keep them in the whole fourth quarter, and that's what it is. It wears them down because then he doesn't trust the bench. He doesn't want to bring nobody else in, you know, and that kills the team. But like I said, in that instance, all we had to do was make free throws. If we'd have made our free throws in that first game, that would have been an easy win for us because we let that game. I mean, we was in control of that game for most of that game. Majority of that game, out of 48 minutes, we was in control for like 46 minutes or 45 minutes, and we lost that game towards the end and into overtime. And we even still had a chance in overtime to win the game, but didn't make shots again. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't make shots. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Coach? Peace and blessings. Thank you for great question. What's up? But the focus should be towards improvement for next year. I hate Indiana more than Boston. Yeah, it is. I mean, I know the next one will be on you know, coming up, but this one is just for the playoffs and what went wrong in the playoffs. The series, yeah. I mean, the season is over, but only to lament about what happened in this series. Like I said, a series that the Knicks should have won, could have won, but like I said, they just didn't put their best foot forward to win this series. You know what I'm saying? Too many miscues. But like I said, turnovers. One of the biggest factors was turnovers. We had 93 turnovers in this game, leading to 140 points by the Pacers to us getting only 61. So they were 80, but close to an 81-point difference. That's the thing, 81-point difference that we just gave away to the Pacers because we was turning the ball over. We was being too casual with the ball and not playing strong with the ball. And yeah, some of it could have been some fouls in here and there, which is, you know what I'm saying, which is possible. But at the end of the day, there was a lot of careless passing by some of these dudes. Like I said, you know, jumping up in the air, turning around and throwing the ball to who? Nobody's there. You know what I'm saying? You just turn the ball because you want to get the ball out of your hands. That's not going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? That is not going to cut it. You got to be much more precise with the ball, man. You cannot keep turning the ball over. But like I said, that was one of the factors that led to this series losing 93 turnovers in a 6-game series. That's about 16 turnovers a game. 16 turnovers a game is terrible, you know, for a 6-game series. But the most egregious part, it was by your perimeter players who had majority of the turnovers. Over half the turnovers were by the perimeter players. Brunson alone had 24 or 25 turnovers. Mikal Bridges had another like 15. Karl Anthony Towns, another like 16, 17. Josh Hart, like about 11. A lot of that, like I said, Hart, Bridges, Brunson had about half of that turnover, man. That's not going to cut it, especially your perimeter. Your perimeter guys got to be your better ball handlers. They got to handle pressure and things like that. And that shows, like I said, we're going to need some more secondary ball handlers, a strong secondary ball handler coming off the bench to help Brunson in the offseason. Like I said, turnovers were one aspect. And then another aspect was, let me see, fast break, transition defense. Let me see. Transition defense was another thing that really hurt the Knicks in this series against the Pacers. The Pacers, like I said, they lived up to their name, the Indiana Pacers. They was pacing, you know what I'm saying? Transition defense, yeah, led to, let me see, what is it, 106 points to 48 for the Knicks in the fast break. 100, yeah, transition defense led to, Pacers had 106 points off of transition defense. The Knicks only have 48. That's a 58-point difference. So basically, they get an 80-point difference on turnovers. Then they get a plus 58 on transition defense. That's a lot of damn points. That's 130. That's like over 138 points outscoring us on just transition defense and turnovers. I mean, come on. You're not going to win a game like that. So they have 138 extra points. And you know what those points are? Those are easy points. They ain't work for those points. You know what I'm saying? They got turnovers and they just like got out on a break. So those are like gimme baskets. You gave them 138 gimme basket points between those two stats. And then you figure out why you lose the series. You're not going to win too many series like that, giving up a lot of those points. But stop using Cameron Payne. Yeah, he stopped using because Cameron Payne was a mess in the playoffs. He wasn't giving us nothing. He was getting more fouls than he was getting points. There was some games he had like 0 points. He had like 3 fouls. And then he was turning the ball over. He wasn't making shots. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't making shots, man. So those are part of the reason that led to this loss by the Knicks, man. Transition defense, 106 points to the Indiana Pacers because the Knicks weren't getting back on defense. The Pacers was leaking out after missed shots or even made shots. The Pacers was leaking out even after made shots, free throws, whatever it was. They was leaking out. I was like, and I think the thing that bothers me most about the Knicks is that a lot of time it was guards on the floor for the Knicks. It was like 3 guards on the floor. How do you get beat? How did the guards get beat? The guards are supposed to be the first one back on defense. How are the guards getting beat? I could see a big man getting beat. But if you got like 3 guards on the floor, you should never get beat in transition defense. Those guys should be back for defense to steal the ball or do something. Every time you seen a pass thrown, it was thrown over their heads. It was thrown over their heads. You know what I'm saying? How are you getting so that means these guys was behind you on defense. You was letting them get behind you on defense because you wasn't hustling back on defense. You wasn't sprinting, you was jogging back on defense, and that's how they got them points. And the Pacers understood that. The more easy baskets we get, the easier the game gonna be for us. You know what I'm saying? Well, while we making the Knicks work for their points, we getting easy baskets. Easy baskets and those baskets, and they start accumulating. Once they start accumulating, that's what happens. Then all of a sudden you keep looking, that's why you keep in a deficit. You got to keep making comebacks. And like I said, in the basketball game and in the playoffs, you keep making comebacks. You just only thing you're doing is just using wasted energy. It's just a lot of energy to keep coming back for no reason. Just stay close to the team in the first place. But if you keep losing, being like 12 points, 14 points, 16 points, you're gonna have to exert more energy to make a comeback. You can't keep making comebacks. You got to play defense. That the basketball is there's 2 things you do on the basketball court. You play offense and you play defense. You got to do both. You can't decide if you want to do one or the other. And if you do decide you want to do one or the other, this is what happens. You know what I'm saying? Transition defense is like the easiest thing just to get back on defense and to slow the Pacers down. Had you got back on defense, hey, it wouldn't have been 106-48 in Pacers points. It's like, bro, 58 extra points just because you didn't want to get back on defense. And you got guards out there on the floor. That's the problem. You have guards on the floor. It's not like you have like 4 bigs out there and 1 guard. You have sometimes you have like 4 guards out there. The Knicks was playing mainly with like Robinson or Towns, and nobody go sit down. They put like all these guards around them. And how you getting beat in transition defense, bro? And like I said, then the coach, you don't even get mad about that when the guys come to the side. You don't even get mad about that. You don't even see, these guys are not hustling. They're not hustling out there, giving effort. That's the whole thing is effort. You don't see the effort level. If these guys can't give the effort level, put somebody else who will, man. Bypass some of these guys. You know what I'm saying? He said, y'all got the horses that want to run with the Pacers. You got to get the horses. Yeah, man. It's like, hey, let's not leave out the dumb fouls by key players. Yeah, I know, man. But yeah, transition defense led to 106 points, man. And then 140 points off of turnovers, 93 turnovers in this series. That's way too much, man. Like I said, in all season, Knicks got to look at this up. These guys got to, work on their handles and be tighter with the handles and ball control and stuff like that. And there's a lot of time that Brunson was just like, he just kept losing the ball because he kept going in circles, like at the 3-point line. It's like, bro, where are you going? He'll turn around off of a screen and go right back into a double team. I'm like, bro, where you going? Make a beeline to the basket. Once you make a move and make your handle with the basketball, just make a straight line to the basket. Go to the basket. Good things happen when you go to the basket. But if you stand out by the 3-point line, you're going to turn the ball over with double teams. That's not good. And then you're going to force a shot, or it's going to be a bad shot, or it's going to be a 24-second shot. Soon as you get that screen, cut through that screen and go towards the basket. Good things happen when you go towards the basket. Somebody could be cutting towards the basket. Go towards the basket. Always go north to south. Don't go east to west, man. You want to go north to south. You want to make a beeline straight from there. You going east to west, you're playing around the 3-point line, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to turn the ball over a whole lot. You're going to turn the ball over, man. And you look at it, like I said. So this is the second thing. Transition defense, 106 points to 48. When I saw that set, I was like, yo, this is crazy, because you didn't want to get back on defense. So you're giving up all these easy baskets that this team is not working for it, but you got to work for it, though. That's the problem. You got to work for it, though. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. And the thing about what some of these Knicks players, like I said, a lot of these guys are not old players. They're in their like 20s or something like that, man. And Hart is 30 years old. He's like the oldest player, or DeLon Wright, but it's like Hart. Hart gets back and stuff like this. But you talk about Brunson is in his 20s, Deuce McBride, you know what I'm saying? What's that? Even who's the other one? Mikal Bridges. Bro, get on out there, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, where's the defense at, man? Where is the defense at, bro? Y'all got to bring it, man. And like I said, we got OG and Mikal. They supposed to be like one of the biggest defenders and stuff like that. Yeah, they play defense, but like I said, they don't play when we need it, though, sometimes. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like all game long. It's like, bro, I want to see that defensive tenacity and stuff like that out there on the court. And sometimes you see it, man, from OG, but Mikal sometimes don't really show it, man. I mean, he might show it here and there with a block shot here and there and stuff like that. But as far as like this, you know what I'm saying? The defense is like, yo, come on, man. Like I said, transition defense, one of the easiest things to do. All you got to do is just, you can control that. All you got to do is get back on D. After a missed shot, run back on D. Hell, you ain't getting a rebound. I can see if you was getting a rebound. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting a rebound, that's one thing. But if you ain't getting a rebound, that's part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. And that's part of it's like this. Turnovers, transition defense. Like I said, those are like two of the stuff that really, really killed the Knicks in this series, man. They just killed the Knicks in this series with like this. It's like, yo, that's unacceptable, man. That is unacceptable. Transition defense led to 106 points. And then you wonder why we sitting at home. Because if we had 106 points to their 48, yeah, we'd be advancing right now. You know what I'm saying? But couldn't do it, man. Just could not do it. So that's like the second thing. Another thing that killed the Knicks was rear its ugly head again. It's free throw shooting. Free throw shooting, man. That's why it's called free throw. It's free throw shooting. It's free. Go there and make the basket. Go and make the shot. Go and make the shot. You know what I'm saying? Go and make the shot. That's all you have to do. It ain't that hard. It's not that hard, man. Go and make this. And that's why I say it's free throws. It's like guys was getting up there and they clanking the shots. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Free throw shooting. It's like in that first game, like I told about, in the first game, we were 28 of 40. We went to the free throw line 40 times, which is a lot. We went 40 times. We only made 28. Mikal missed 2 free throws in the first half. Then after that, everybody else started missing free throws. They started splitting free throws. Make one, miss one. Make one, miss one. Listen, in a free throw game, you shoot 40 free throws. I could see if you miss like 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But you're supposed to hit at least about 34 free throws in that first game. You know what I'm saying? He said, "There's a lot, Brunson. Where you going?" Yeah, man. But yeah, it's free throw shooting. Another thing, like I said, in the offseason, like I said, guys got to work on their free throws, man. Free throws, like, yo, all it is just concentration on the free throw line. Just concentrate on that line, taking your time and shooting that free throw. You ain't got to rush the free throw. Take your time and shoot the free throw, man. Free throw shooting is very important in the playoffs. You got to make those free throws. The more free throws you make, the easier, like I said, the better the outcome is going to be, man. You're going to be right there in a lot of games if you make a lot of free throws, and especially if you go to the free throw line 40 times. I can see you only went to the free throw line like 20 times. You went 40 times. 40 times, and you made 28 and missed 12. You missed 12 free throws, and a lot of those 12 free throws were crucial free throws that were not being made. 12 missed free throws. That cost us game 1. Game 1 was, like I said, that was the game right there. It's like, hey, a lot of things went wrong in that first game. The missed free throws, the poor defense, like I said before. And like I said, guys get in the hustle, don't want to get back, don't want to play defense, transition defense and stuff like that. Don't want to get around screens, don't want to, go through picks and stuff like that. Hey, and that's why you're sitting at home. But like I said, free throw shooting, like I said, and it said Knicks are like one of the better free throw shooting teams when they get to the line, which, they get to the line. But like I said, so far at the second half of the season and into the playoffs, the Knicks ain't been shooting the free throw that good. You know what I'm saying? I see the game. I watch the game. And you guys, some of you guys are here. We watch the game. Hey, free throw shooting again. Here he goes. Like, the main culprits would be like that. Like the guys who's supposed to make free throws. Like Josh Hart missed a couple of free throws. Cat would miss a free throw. And Cat be missing. He missed a couple of free throws the last game. I'm like, bro, what are you doing at the free throw line? Just concentrate on the free throw line. Take your time and make these free throws. They count. You know what I'm saying? We need those free throws. Every point counts in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? You got to make your free throws. Like I said, if you're a poor free throw shooting team, you're going to lose a lot of games, man. But like I said, if you can make those free throws, especially if you go to the free throw line a lot. You know what I'm saying? 40 times, that's a lot. That's what I'm saying. In a playoff, 40 times is a lot. You know what I'm saying? Usually the average probably like 25 or 26, but you get to the free throw line 40 times, that mean they was blowing that whistle, man. It's like, you be thinking like, oh man, we should have more free. Man, 40 free throws is a lot of free throws. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. But if you're gonna get there, like I said, you got to make the most of the opportunities. You know what I'm saying? 28 out of 40 is not, that's not good. That's like 60 something percent or something like that. We need for 40 free throws, like I said, you got to make like 33, 34 free throws, 35 free throws, 36 free throws. Yeah, you're gonna miss a couple here and there and stuff like that, but from your good shooters. And if I'm not mistaken, in that game, let me see in that game, I think Mitchell Robinson in that game was like 6 of 6. I think he was 6. I think Mitchell Robinson was making his free throws. I gotta see that thing. But I think Mitchell Robinson was making his free throws. Let me go back to that stat in that game, man. I think because I was like, Mitch is making his free throws, and we out here missing our free throws. That's like, oh hell, because that was like the hack of Mitch and stuff like that. Let me see what Mitch was in that game. No, that's Mitch was 0 for 2 in that game. There was another game that Mitch was like 6 for 6. I think it was game 2. It was like Mitchell. I was like, look at Mitch over here making free throws, and you guys over here missing free throws and stuff like that. I have to see. It was one of those games that Mitch was making his free throws, and we weren't making our free throws. Man, I'm just like, come on, bro. We need this. We need these free throws. I think it was the game the Knicks won in game 3. Let me see. Yep. No, that was Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, I know it was one of those games and stuff like that, man. It was one of those games like so I was like, oh my God, Mitch is making free throws, like something is gonna, heaven's gonna strike, you know what I'm saying? I said Mitchell Robinson making his free throws. But yeah, like I said, man, free throw shooting is a must, man. Free throw shooting is a must. It's a must. Got to make those free throws, man. Like I said, in all seasons, like I said, guys, like I said, I think Landry Shamet, some of these guys, even guys that came off the bench too, were missing free throws and stuff. He said it might be time to trade either Bridges or Hart or both. The Villanova Knicks was nice while it lasted. Yeah. What's up? Ralph, what's good, bro? Salute. Thanks for tapping in. Yeah. Yeah, anything is like hard would probably be about Bridges contract is coming up and stuff like that. So they got to decide at the end of the season. I think it's either at the end of next season or something like that. You could do an extension or something like that. So I think it's a make or break year for Bridges next season, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because if he's looking for big money and he ain't really producing sometime like that, he might be the odd man. They might have to ship him out because all that second apron thing and all that second apron talk is about, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like teams ain't gonna be able to afford all these players and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why Celtics, Cavs, you know what I'm saying, they're going to look to be doing something real soon similar, you know what I'm saying, because they can't keep all these guys, man. So that second apron, like I said, thanks to Adam Silver, like I said, everything is changing and stuff like that, man. So that second apron going to cause a lot of teams to shift their focus and things like that, you know what I'm saying, to try to get under the first apron or something like that, around the first apron or something like that. And then when you get under that second apron, it blocks you from doing a lot of things too, like as far as signing free agents and stuff like that, because the money's not there. The mid-level exception is a lot of things that go into it. So, and sometimes if you close to it, man, then it's like something happens like in a draft or something like that. A second round pick or something can trigger the second apron, depending on what it is and stuff like that and how you go about it and stuff like that. So like I said, going forward, man, it's going to be very interesting within the next year or 2 years how the NBA is going to be shaped and see what guys are going to have to move off of teams and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we thinking these guys are going to be here for the whole long haul, but because of this new second apron and stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of changes in the NBA and stuff like that, man. So, hey, a lot of changes is coming. But like I said, with Bridges, we have to see what happens, man, because this contract extension is coming up at the end of next year, I believe. So we got another year on that and stuff, man. But like I said, man, yeah, so part of the things that led to this series loss was, like I said, first thing was the turnovers, then the transition defense. The free throw shooting was atrocious at sometimes in these games, man. That was causing us to lose some of these games, man. But like I said, those were like some of the main ones. But the main obvious one, man, was this next one is gonna be like defense. That Knicks defense, like I said, was hideous, man. The Knicks defense was hideous in this series against the Pacers, man. Like I said, mainly, like I said, mainly Bridges and Towns and Brunson, man. It's like the defense, man. It's another thing. The defense was another big factor in this series, man. Pacers was using a lot of screens, using Cat and Brunson in a lot of pick and roll screens. You mainly Cat, because like I said, I don't know what the hell Tibbs got with this drop coverage BS that he comes with. It's like, bro, I don't want to hear about no drop coverage. Get your butt up there and play some defense. You know what I'm saying? Stay to the man and stuff like that. What you dropping back to play who? It's like when you do a drop coverage, you in no man's land. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not guarding nobody. You know what I'm saying? You said, why you think it's the apron era? You think it's when teams could be more competitive? You think it's so more? Yeah. They get injured, they just switch more buckets. Yeah, that too, man. The Pacers did. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. A team like Indiana is like the drop coverage and all stuff really don't work because they got good shooters and guys are gonna make shots. So you got to stay with these guys. You can't give them open baskets. And the Pacers, like I said, they made the Knicks pay. They made majority of shots. The Knicks didn't. And this wasn't Detroit. Detroit when the Knicks played them in the first round. Detroit, they wasn't really. They was how can you say they was one of those teams that's like they're not pure shooters. They streak. There's a lot of streak shooters on that team. So and their shooting is not really that good. But Indiana has a good shooting team. Everybody can shoot that ball, man. From the 1 through the 5, they all can shoot the ball. Even guys coming off the bench can shoot the ball, man. And you can't give those guys wide open opportunities. I mean, just look at what's the name off the bench for the Pacers that came in the center, Thomas Bryant, a big man who usually plays down in the post. Thomas Bryant hit like 3 threes in the third quarter. That's what kind of blew the game open was Thomas Bryant in the third quarter. They kept leaving him open, and he kept painting, kept making the Knicks pay with those 3-point shots. And I'm like, where did Thomas Bryant get these 3-point shots? Because he's mainly like a post guy, in the post and stuff like that. When he played the Lakers, other teams and stuff like that. But Thomas Bryant been working on his 3-point shooting and all that stuff, and he let it loose on the Knicks, man. He let it loose on the Knicks, and that was like, you know what I'm saying? Neymar, what's good, bro? Salute, man. Good to see you in here. Fire Tips and Trey can't get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Neymar said he's ready for this thing to get rid of Cat, man. So he wants a defensive player, defensive forward, somebody play better defense. But yeah, man. And like I said, with the defense, man, Knicks defense was just hideous in this playoff against the series. Like I said, too many times they were caught flat-footed. Too many times they want to fight over screens and get over screens. Why you see on the other end, Indiana was fighting through screens. Indiana was fighting. They was getting through them screens. They didn't even care. They was making the Knicks pay for that stuff. You saw Indiana picking up 94 feet a lot. They picked up 94 feet in this whole playoff series against the Knicks because they kept putting bodies on the Knicks guards, whoever it was. Brunson, Hart, Bridges, anybody, McBride, anybody, and Cameron Payne, anybody who got the ball. Anybody who got the ball. He said, oh, Kevin Durant. Is it anybody who got the ball? They was putting bodies on them because, like, hey, they playing defense. They're going to wear you down. You know what I'm saying? They know eventually, is when you start getting worn down, you're going to turn the ball over sometimes and stuff like that. And then, like I said, with some of these Knicks guards, man, their handles are not too tight. They got to get tighter with the handles, or the Knicks, like I said, Knicks going to have to look for some strong secondary ball handlers and playmakers, in the offseason. And like I said, with this season, due to the Bridges trade and also the Towns trade, it took a lot of depth from the Knicks and stuff like that. So they're going to have to go in the offseason and try to retool and stuff like that. But you look at teams like OKC, Cleveland, Boston, Indy, these other teams. These guys been playing together for some years. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they just play together. This is the first year. It's all these teams like with these players. You know what I'm saying? For the Knicks, the team that was there last year was not the same team this year. You know what I'm saying? Before the season, like I said. You know what I'm saying? If this was the team with RJ Barrett, Randall, and all these types, that's different. Them guys been playing together for some years. But these guys, like I said, before the season, Julius Randle trade, Dante DiVincenzo traded, Isaiah Hartenstein left in free agency. So Knicks had to make the Towns trade and it's like that, and that took away some of the depth and stuff like that, man. Because 2-3 years ago, man, our bench was one of our strengths. Our bench was scoring points. our bench could get with anybody off the bench. You know what I'm saying? We had Emmanuel Quickly and all these guys. You know, we ain't even worried about points coming off the bench when IQ was there and stuff like that. You know, but them guys are long gone now. So Knicks got to strengthen that bench in the off season, man. You know, but like I said, in this playoffs, defense was, like I said, one of the ugly strong suit for the Knicks. Was like, it was just ugly, man. The Pacers was tearing our defense apart, man. They was tearing our defense apart, man. It's just like, man, every time you look at it, man, it's like, yo, like I said, they was hunting guys on pick and rolls and stuff like that, getting backdoor cuts, you know what I'm saying? And Knicks was getting caught flat-footed and stuff like that. And that led to a lot of easy points for the Pacers, man. Knicks, like I said, in Austin, got to clean that up, man. You got to clean it up. You got to move your feet on defense. Stop playing with your hands. You got to move your feet on defense. You got to move that feet. Got to move your feet, man. You know, so that was one of, like, as a defense, like I said, and Coach Tibbs is known as a defensive coach, but his team, like 2-3 years ago, that the gritty Knicks, then the Knicks was known for grit, and also like last year that team was gritty and stuff like that. But now we more of a finesse team now. We more of an offensive team now and stuff like that. Not so much defense. Like I said, the team from last year, the year before, you know, Knicks was, like I said, Knicks was going to come at you with that defense and all that type of stuff. But like I said, some of them guys are long gone now. It's like, it's a different team. It's a different, you know what I'm saying? So we're more like a Boston with the 5 out and all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we're a finesse team. We're not no more the physical team. There's only some physicality on Knicks. Is like Mitchell Robinson, Hart, you know what I'm saying? McBride, that's about it, you know what I'm saying? But they don't took away most of the grit, you know what I'm saying? So now it's just like, you know, guys is just soft, you know what I'm saying? Especially on the defensive end, man. You know, guys don't give that much effort on the defense. It's like, yo, and that's why they find themselves in trouble. They're getting scored on a lot because guys don't want to play defense. Or if they do play defense, it's soft defense. It's piss poor defense, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, and like I said, Tibbs, you're known as a defensive coach. It's like, yo, what kind of defense you teaching these guys? Like, yes, it's like, yo, but these guys missing a lot of defensive assignments. You know what I'm saying? They missing a lot of defensive assignments. And I'm looking at this guys like, really? You're not calling these guys? You're not taking these guys out? You're not calling and chastising these guys on the sidelines? You know, so to pick it up and stuff like that, man. Guys are giving piss poor effort on defense, not getting back, giving up layups and stuff like that, giving up and ones and stuff, soft fouls and stuff like that. I'm like, man, come on with this, man. And that's part of the reason, like I said, these are all part of reasons why the Knicks have lost the series to the Indiana Pacers. Like I said, in the playoffs, you got to get out of that regular season mode. You got to get into, like, you playing ball at the playground. Like you say, every man for themselves, or 21, every man for themselves on the basketball court. That's why you got to play, like, you know, so you got to play rough, tough, and all that type of stuff. Fouls is nothing. You know what I'm saying? You got to put on your big boy pants, like the late Kobe Bryant said. You got to put on them big boy pants. You got to bring it. You got to bring that energy. You got to bring that energy on the defense. Defense wins championships. Offense sells tickets. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the next thing, like, yo, offense is going to keep doing. Offense is going to get doing for a little bit, but you got to play defense too. At some point, you got to dig down and find something and you know, and make some effort, concerted effort on defense. And part of defense is rebounding. And that's another thing with the rebounding. It can't just be Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns. Everybody has to help out on defense. Everybody got to help out on defense. There's no reason why I see in a game that OG and Mikal Bridges, and I keep using a lot because these guys is like playing 30, 40 minutes a game and they're getting 2 rebounds or 3 rebounds. It's like, bro, you're not really stopping anybody. People say, oh, man, they're using energy playing defense. What defense? Yeah, they might play defense here or there or something like that, but they ain't going to play like full nonstop. You know what I'm saying? I need you to get like 8 rebounds, 9 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? That ain't too hard to ask from the forward position from OG and Mikal Bridges. With all them damn bricks the Knicks shooting out there, you can get like damn near 12 damn rebounds. You know what I'm saying? You should be getting 12 rebounds. You should be getting all the damn rebounds, but they don't make no effort to get the rebounds. And that's part of the reason why they be losing games. Because when you don't get the rebounds, you're giving up a lot of second chance and third chance points to the other team. That means you got to play defense a little bit longer, or you might foul somebody because you didn't want to get the rebound. You got to get the rebound to make a team one and done at the rim. You make them one and done, that's gonna clear up a lot of things. But if they get the rebounds, they can either throw the ball out for a fast break or something like that, just like what they was doing to you guys, or get another shot at the basket. And like I said, you could defend, but sometimes you can't defend. But for only so long you could defend. You know what I'm saying? You're wasting more effort like that. you'll get more effort on the defensive end because now you got to play 14 more seconds of defense. If they get a third rebound, that's another 14 extra seconds of defense. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen a lot of times in games where the rebound comes out long to like the free throw line to the 3-point line, and no Knicks players is over there. Where's the guards? The Knicks guards are not back. Where they at? And the other team getting the ball out by a 3-point line, wide open 3-point shot, or they cut in the lane for a basket because you allowed them to give them shots. He said, "Yeah, at what point in the end did you feel like the season was over short?" I think it's more towards that third quarter, man. The third quarter when Thomas Bryant was hitting all those threes and stuff like that, and the Knicks was not, they fall behind by 16 points and all this stuff is like, and they wasn't scoring. They was turning the ball over, been not making shots. But they tried to make a little comeback and stuff like that, but it wasn't there because they wasn't playing defense. They was trading baskets for baskets. When you trade baskets for baskets, you're not going to make a comeback. You got to get some defensive stops. You know what I'm saying? You need to make some defensive stops so you can go on a 11-2 run, a 13-4 run, something like that. But you can't be going on a 14-14 run. You ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? That defeats the purpose. If you scoring, you know what I'm saying, it's like all of a sudden you get hot, but then the other team is still hot too because you're not stopping them. You're not stopping them from scoring. You know what I'm saying? Or get defensive stops. And if you do play defense, what happened? They get in the rebound again. So they get a second and third chance points because guys are not rebounding. They play good defense for 24 seconds, and then they just let up and won't get the rebound. And now you got to play defense again for another 14 seconds. And another probably 14 seconds. Or what happens? Is a 3-point shot made or is a foul? Because you wouldn't go get the basketball. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes you stand there, you're looking at the ball because Mitchell Robinson ain't getting it, or Karl Anthony Towns ain't getting it, or Josh Hart ain't getting it. Those are the guys that be having like double digits rebound. Hell, look at Obi Toppin on the Pacers. When Obi was on the Knicks, he wasn't really rebounding too much. Everybody's like, Obi's now rebounding now for the Pacers. He getting putbacks. He getting all this type of stuff because he's an active player. He's very active, around the baskets and stuff like that. It's like all it is, it depends on if the coach is going to hold you accountable. If he's not holding these guys accountable, they're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why Tibbs do that. It's like he pick and choose when he wants to hold people accountable. It's like if you're going to be all in on something, you got to be all in. You can't be one way. You can't be in or out. You know what I'm saying? You can't be halfway in or out. You know what I'm saying? Be all in. And like I said, with these guys missing so many defensive assignments, a lot of these guys should be benched because I'll pull some guys on the bench. And he finally put Cameron Payne on the bench after like 2 or 3 games. Like, bro, you should have been pulled that game. That dude shouldn't even been playing in the Pacers series. You should have bypassed him and go to somebody else, which eventually he finally did. He went to Landry Shamet and DeLon Wright, which you should have done a long time ago because Cameron Payne, even in the Pistons series, he wasn't playing good. The Boston series, he wasn't really playing that good. You know what I'm saying? But Tom Thibodeau, sometimes his loyalty, that's what gets him in trouble is this loyalty thing with some of these guys. Is like, yo, if that dude ain't got it, he ain't got it, man. Especially in the playoffs, you don't have time to sit there and play around with these guys. Either they're going to have it or they're not going to have it. You know what I'm saying? Find somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Hey, make them pay for it. They don't want to. If they ain't playing good, give them minutes to somebody else. While they sitting there, they'll figure out why they not playing. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I said, it was just defense. But like I said, Knicks came in as the favorites in this series, but they lost in 6 games to the Pacers. Like I said, I don't like the Pacers, Indy, but you got to give credit where credit is due, man. The Pacers beat the Knicks. Like I said, they won the series. They were the better team in the series. The Knicks might have had a little bit more talent or better talent, but the Pacers had the better of. They wanted it more. You know what I'm saying? Their players play like it. You know what I'm saying? You got to give them credit. They beat the Knicks. It's a series. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing with NBA basketball and college basketball. The difference is college basketball is a sudden death 1-game elimination where the best team in college basketball don't even win because on that one night, the other team might play their best. They might have the game of their life, and then that's it. And that's why them college basketball players be crying because it's 1 game, and, all the things they work hard for the season is over in that 1 game. And the NBA is different. It's a series. So it's not like, oh, I'm a better team than you. I'll show you, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? But that's why you play a 7-game series and stuff like that, and the better team wins. Yeah, the other team might have been better, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. So, and they give you 7 opportunities to prove yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you can't take nothing from the Pacers. They won fair and square. They beat us. You know what I'm saying? They beat us 4 out of 6 games and stuff like that. Yeah, the Knicks should have won a game. Knicks gave away a game, but hey, that's what happens when you know what I'm saying? You give games away. You should have been taking advantage of your opportunities. You should have been making free throws. You should have been making stops. You know what I'm saying? things like that. You should have been playing some defense. You should have been getting fighting through the pick and roll. You should have been fighting through screens to get out there and defend people on the 3-point line, but you didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And this is what happens. This is the consequences of your actions and stuff like that. So now you're gonna have to figure out in the offseason how you're gonna come back and improve the team and things like that. What you could do better, what you could have done better in the playoff, to extend your season. But instead, now your season is over. You're eliminated. And like I said, the Pacers, like I said, they came in here, they made baskets in that series. That's the one thing. The Pacers made a lot of shots in that series. Yeah, they might have scored 100 points in one of the games, but majority of games they were scoring like 114, 120 something and stuff like that. Because like I said, they were picking up the pace in the series, you know what I'm saying, beating the Knicks back in transition and also turnovers, man. You know what I'm saying? And then the defense, like I said, it's just a lot to overcome on the team when you're having so many deficiencies. The other team got advantages and stuff like that, and that's like I said, and that's four advantages that they have. But the biggest the biggest advantage they have was number 5. I'll put up right in 1 second. It's like number 5 was like, and it's been the Knicks Achilles heels all game. I mean all season long. All season long has been that bench. The bench has killed the Knicks all season long because, like I said, the lack of depth and, like I said, and then Tom Thibodeau reluctance to play some of these guys and have confidence in these guys. Like I said, the Pacers, like I said, they came out. I know they came on the advantage in the series anyway. Was the bench that was going to be one of the main things that was going to help the Pacers. And like I said, the bench was the one thing that I knew the Pacers was going to have the advantage of. But the other thing, like transition defense and turnovers and free throw shooting and you know what I'm saying? I thought, like, you know what I'm saying, that could have been like go either way with these teams. But like I said, you look at it, the Pacers was better than us with the turnover margin, the transition defense, their free throw shooting was great, and then the bench. That's a lot of things to overcome, man. You know what I'm saying? When you the Knicks have a small margin for error, especially from the bench area and stuff like that. We don't get too much production off the bench. Some teams like OKC, and then they could get like 40 points or 50 points off the bench. The Knicks, for the most part, we've been getting like 15 points, 8 points, 20-some points is probably the high. But like I said, I've never seen this Knicks this season and get like 40 or 50 points off the bench. If they could have got those 40, 50 points off the bench, hey, then we cooking, you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't to be all season long. That's been the weakest point. And that's what I'm saying. That's part of the reason why in the offseason we got to look to strengthen that bench. You know what I'm saying? And some of it could be putting some guys on the bench like Josh Hart. He's not really a starter. He can go back to the bench. You just have to get a starting 2 guard or something like that, in the offseason and stuff like that to put him back in his natural position coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Because with him on the bench, it helps your bench a little bit compared to him being in the starting lineup where, you know what I'm saying, he's being exposed with his shooting and stuff like that, and he's not really shooting the ball too well or being confident and taking shots. He's just like, passing the ball back out and causing 24-second shot clock violation or turning the ball over because he don't want to shoot the ball even though he's wide open. But yeah, the Pacers bench, like I said, they just nullified us, man. I'm not even going to look at the final stats because I know the Pacers probably outscored us by over 100 and something points in the 6-game series. Because like I said, for the most part, the Knicks bench was getting like 8 points and 12 points and 9 points. That's not going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? The Pacers getting like 30-something, 40 points a game in the series and stuff like that. And like I said, good teams, like I said, bench helps a lot of good teams win games. The bench is a big part of a team. It's not just the starters. Some people think like, oh, got a good start. Yeah, you got a good start 5, but they got to get rest. You got to get guys to come in off the bench to help them, you know what I'm saying, to keep them leads or bring them back from games and stuff like that. But you can't depend on your starters to do everything for the team. The starters can't get like, if they score 125 points, the starters scoring like 115 and the bench only scoring 10 points. It's like, come on now. These guys got to help. They got to help. That's what they're on the team for, off the bench. That's what they're there for. You know what I'm saying? That's what their job is. That's what they get paid for. You got to perform. You got to produce when you come off the bench. If you're not producing and you're not performing, you're not helping your team. You're not helping your team win. And that's part of the reason why the Knicks, like I said, there was a lot of games that the Knicks could have won this season, but they couldn't win because they had no bench production. I mean, you look at the final stats and, when you're going up against other teams and they having the benches like a plus 35 or 40 against us is like, that's part of the reason why some of the losses were, the way they were. You know what I'm saying? They wore the Knicks down after a while because, like I said, and Knicks had to play some starters a little bit more minutes because, it was getting bench production. And then when the bench guys did play, some of them, they really wasn't producing. when your number is called, you got to be ready, man. When your number is called, you got to be ready to to play, man. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's it for the Knicks, man. You know, Knicks, like I said, that's part of the reason why the Knicks are sitting at home right now. The season was over Saturday night, Game 6 in Indianapolis. Knicks lose 125 to 108, ending the Knicks season. So now the Knicks will be looking towards the off season, looking towards the free agency. And the Knicks this year in the draft, Knicks only have a second round pick, number 50 in the draft. Because like I said, Knicks, I mean, probably even going, whoever the rookie, probably ain't even going to play, or the Knicks probably even going to get rid of it or something like that. Because like I said, we're kind of almost close to the second apron. So all they got to do is, like I said, we had 3 rookies this year in the draft that the Knicks should be trying to develop, like Ariel Hook-Porty, you know, Tyler Kolek and Pakham Dadier, you know. And like I said, those guys should have been playing all season long to me. I don't know what Tibbs is doing with these guys. Like I said, those guys can play. I know some people say, like, I was like, let me tell you something. If those guys was on other teams, they would be playing off the bench because other teams played a bunch of guys off the bench. Those guys can play. Those guys, when I saw them play, it wasn't like they was like deer in headlights, or they wasn't. Them guys can play. All they needed was a little bit more experience and playing time and stuff like that to get much better as the season went on. And that's what Tibbs should have been doing early in the season, playing those guys a lot. So that way, by the time the playoff comes, the bench would have been that much stronger, and you could depend on those guys. You know what I'm saying? But Tibbs being Tibbs, shortening his rotation in game 1 of the season, you know what I'm saying? The first, I mean, God playing 7 players in the beginning of the season. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Other teams are playing like 12, 11 players. You playing like 7. It's like, bro, that you play 7 like towards the end of the season, like the last 8, 9, 10 games to start shortening the rotations or something like that. You doing it at the beginning of the season, wearing your team down some, you know what I'm saying? The starters and things like that. But yeah, the bench was, like I said, that was another deciding factor in this series, man. The bench, the Knicks could not overcome the Pacers bench, man. Like I said, I knew that was going to be too much for the Knicks, man, in hindsight. But sometimes if these guys could have performed, like if they could give us 25 or 30 points off the bench, it would have been great. But you can't count on that. You know, some games like Deuce McBride might come in. Like I said, one game he had 9 points, another game he had 3, and 3 is like, bro, yeah, I just come to get in a bucket, just one bucket, that's it. You know, between him and Payne, they getting like 6 points. I'm like, is this what we doing now? This what we doing? It's like, bro, some of these guys are like, contract years is coming up. They're not even looking like the contract and stuff like that, man. It's like, yo, you got to be playing for a contract. It's not just you playing for the Knicks. It's other teams are looking at you too to sign you in the offseason. You know what I'm saying? This is your money. You know what I'm saying? You got to play like you want to, you know what I'm saying, get paid in the offseason. I thought dudes was going to be hungry, but some of these dudes don't even look hungry when they come in the game and stuff like that, man. And you watch these other teams bench players, and these guys are coming in hungry, and they scoring on every opportunity like it's like their last. I'm looking at these guys like, golly, man. It's like these guys coming in, they producing off the bench. I mean, everybody off the Pacers bench is coming and producing. They was producing. It wasn't guys coming up in here throwing donuts. Tony Bradley was coming in getting rebounds. Thomas Bryant hitting threes. Ben Shepherd, you know, and Benedict Mathurin really is a starter. But I know he comes off the bench to fortify the Pacers bench. But Mathurin, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now. You know, TJ McConnell, you know, the little lightning rod, you know what I'm saying? TJ McConnell was coming in and getting rebounds, you know, offensive rebounds. You know, TJ McConnell was out there getting rebounds that our guards wasn't even getting rebounds. That's what I'm saying. You can see it. TJ McConnell's a winning player. He knows how to play the game. He reminds me of Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard reminds me of TJ McConnell. Those guys are like feisty guys and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When they like a little ball of energy or something like that when they come in off the bench. You know what I'm saying? We need guys like that come off the bench. Deuce McBride, sometimes he has it like this, but other times he don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, but like I said, the main thing for the Knicks, like I said, these are the reasons why the Knicks lost, man. One was turnovers, was the main culprit. Turnovers, transition defense, poor free throw shooting, defense, and bench. Very little from the bench. I mean, it's been like that all season long. And, you know, like I said, Knicks fans know that's our Achilles heel is the bench. You know, so I thought them guys was going to surprise me in the playoffs, especially in this series, and do a little bit more, but they didn't, because the Pacers, like I said, the Pacers was not like a physical team, you know what I'm saying? They were more like the Celtics, you know what I'm saying? Like a more finesse team and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, these guys are going to get some opportunities. All they got to do is make the most of the opportunities, make some shots and things like that. That's all they had to do, you know what I'm saying? But they couldn't even do that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And when they did do it, it was too little too late, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it is. It's like, yo, but like I said, as the Knicks fans, like I said, the season is over, man. We finished top 3 in Eastern Conference, which is great. We got to the Eastern Conference Final. You know, last year we made it a game before the Eastern Conference Final. So we got a little bit further with this team. So next year, the expectation is going to be even higher now, you know what I'm saying, because we got to the Eastern Conference Final. But we'll see what they do in the offseason. We'll see what type of moves are made. If the coach should be back, like I said, Tiz more likely is going to be back because he went to the Eastern Conference Final. I know some people think like he may get fired. And, hey, it might surprise me. He just may get fired, but we'll see what happens, man. You know, but like I said, in the offseason, we'll see what moves the Knicks make. But that'll be for the next show and things like that. This show today was mainly about, you know, this playoff loss and, you know, letting Knicks fans, you know, I know, like I said, it was a disappointment. It wasn't the outcome that we all wanted, but hey, things happen. Like I said, next year, like I said, these guys will come back better prepared and stuff like that. Like I said, they saw what happened this year. You would hope that they'll come back better prepared. They saw what happened this year and want to right the wrong and get to an NBA, play for an NBA championship and stuff like that, man. But I want to thank everybody for tapping in, man, for this live stream on the Man Cave podcast, courtesy of the Aboriginal Sports Network, man. Thank you guys for tapping in, man. If this is your first time to the Man Cave podcast, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man, and also share this on all social media platforms, man. It costs you nothing. It is totally free, man. Make sure you go and subscribe, and also go subscribe to all the great content creators on the Aboriginal Sports Network, myself, the Man Cave podcast, as well as Big Pat Sports Talk, Unpopular Opinion Sports, NYG, Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports, Leaf Diggy, TP Way the Giant, Mets 2128, Ghost Dog, Delay of Game, also Rob R0B. Make sure you go and subscribe, man. I want to thank you guys. Shout out to the chat, man. RC Hawkeye, always support, man. Thank you from day one, bro. Neymar, thanks for coming through. Tyrone Hall, you already know what it is, man. Coach, yeah, I see you. You know what I'm saying? Gonna get that going on tomorrow, man. Full court press, man. I think it'll be on tomorrow. So make sure you guys tap in for that WNBA talk with me and Coach Ed Gladney, as well as Leaf Diggy and stuff like that, man. Keeping you abreast of what's going on in the women's game, WNBA, man. WNBA season is here. Liberties and stuff like that. Salute G Money. Salute. And Darnell Big Money. You already know what it is, bro. Thank you guys for tapping in, man. Like I said, I'll be back next week, Monday, man, on the Man Cave podcast, as well as for the Knicks at Night talk, man, talking Knicks off season and what moves we need to make to get the team better, man, and fix what we need to fix the team. So make sure you guys come back and tap on here, man, tomorrow. Next weekend. Like I said, I should be back tomorrow night with Coach doing the full court press. We'll see. You know, we should be back at 7:00 tomorrow night, man. So like I said, thank all you guys for tapping in, man. And like I said, I'll be back on next Monday. Again, make sure you tap back in for Knicks at Night. You know what I'm saying? Talking Knicks, man. Thank you guys for tapping in. See you guys.
Who's got the rocket launcher? I say we blow it up. Now fire that thing.
It's for the city of sports, playing with a giant Nick. With my man S. God.
That's him.
You feel the vibe?
That's me.
We going live.
That's us.
That like button shared, you been subscribed.
Stadium.
That MetLife, Big Blue, home of the Braves.
Yeah.
That turnpike you can see, that's where the game's played. NFL one day, then it's the NBA. Madison Square Garden, that's where the Knicks play. This that NY Logan, no it don't get broken. Legalize, mean this shit smoking. I'm on topic, dropping another episode. The game winner, trade, maybe a field goal. Everybody right now doing the wave. You tune in, the show called The Man-Cave. I see the chat, they always doing their thing. Big views, 85 inch screen. The game's on, you rush and bleed. Remain calm, you on the road and chill. Do the watch along. The show's on, the host, you know it's S-God. It's no telling the panel filled with guest stars. You're now rocking with the voice, you know what it is. It's your boy J Boogie. You're now rocking with my man S-God. I support him to the fullest, you heard? My man Mike Blaze. This is Alter Production. What that mean, we about to alter everything that's playing. Tune in. My man S.God. Support the show. Subscribe, share it. Most importantly, hit that like button.